Hello.
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 Just
Bye-bye.
wait.
Bye
Just
bye.
waiting on you, Ronnie. Waiting on you.
Can you not hear me? Okay, you can hear me.
No,
I
we
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Audio on.
You
Audio
just
check.
had
One,
that.
two.
You just had that awkward silent break in between the
Yeah.
hellos.
I didn't know we were performing
Hello.
already.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, what episode is this? 190.
195.
No, 198.
198.
I
Yeah,
feel like we've
three
been in
more than
the
195.
190s for like 8 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably pretty close.
I'm just guessing, but
Well, with a new episode, we like to thank our platinum sponsor for SplinterCon, Grit Automation.
Woo!
Thank you, thank you. Oh,
Thanks,
that's
thanks.
something I wanted to tell you guys. So not only is Grit Automation doing our uh, commencement speech, keynote
Ooh.
speaker, whatever
Keynote.
you want to call it, Thursday night at our welcome dinner,
Mhm.
but now on Saturday morning, um, Joel is actually going to be walking through like setting up a system from start to finish.
that's very
Oh,
interesting.
Yes.
that's
So
very cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I won't spoil what his talk on the first night's going to be about, but yeah, we spoke about it, and so that's going to be an event in the morning that anybody that wants to attend can attend, and that works out really well. The other thing that I was going to tell you guys before we started the podcast, I'll just mention it now. One of the questions that I asked the hotel, you remember last year when we thought we were going to be doing demos,
Hmm.
like demos that made noise, right?
Right.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, it's no problem as long as it's during the day hours and all that stuff." So I just wanted to clarify because of what we're doing on Friday, or
Hmm.
what can be done on Friday should the people attending choose to do it. Um, and she did kind of get a little nervous.
Oh.
Yeah. And she was like, "Well, as long as like, do you think it'd be possible for you to not start until like 10:30?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that'll be fine."
Hmm.
Because we're not going to tell people to be downstairs at 7 for
No.
No, no, no,
No.
no. So I was like, "Yeah, that'll work. We won't start till 10:30." But the other thing that's cool, she did say that thanks for letting her know that we were going to be doing some things that make noise. Uh, and it would obviously be better if it was in the midday to afternoon. But she's like, I'll do my best to block off any of the rooms that are above the conference room to your attendees because I know they'll be in there.
True.
Oh,
Good
cool.
point.
So she made a
Good
note. I'm
point.
really hoping that she does that because I don't want any issues with the hotel. I don't want them to be
No,
like,
no,
"Oh,
no.
it's 10:30 and they're making noise in this hotel." Like
Hmm.
this is supposed to be my getaway.
I think everybody else was noisy last year because there was the Reds game and Oktoberfest, and that
Yeah.
place was booming.
Oh, yeah, she did tell me that we did pick another good weekend to come because they just announced that that weekend while we're there is the Kroger Wellness Festival.
Oh.
And it's right across the bridge. And apparently the Kroger Wellness Festival um, is actually a really fun event. They do like free concerts and stuff, and everything is free. Like
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
like
is that
entry to go
cool?
there is free. You can listen to music for free. So that'll
Wow.
definitely be something that people could do.
Oh, last year at the Kroger festival, I heard the Rolling Stones showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
I
that
wonder if they're
was
going to come again this year.
Probably. You know the cost of groceries, they probably are.
yeah. Yeah.
Ronnie, man, you are so quick. Ugh.
I keep
Hey,
getting people asking me if I have an agenda for this thing yet.
you know what's taking over our area? Publix.
Oh,
They're
that's
go-
cool, man. That's
they're
my
g-
favorite grocery
You're so
store.
lucky.
we're surrounded by them. They're coming in everywhere.
Mm,
I think
I
it's only a
hope.
matter of time before they go up north a little bit more because I mean
yeah.
there's at least four, five. One and didn't know it. There's one right now, just outside of Cincinnati that just opened right by the airport. So they're going as high as Cincinnati now.
I've looked into it because that's mine and Nicole's favorite grocery store as well, and it doesn't. I've I found a couple of things that said currently there are no plans to expand to Indiana, but if they're all the way up in Cincinnati, then
That yeah, that
Yeah.
one surprised me. And then
Yeah.
they're all very close to Kroger's. The different Kroger
Yeah.
buildings, they're all
Yeah.
within like around the corner, or
Very
they look
cool.
like they're very strategically placed.
Yep. In Maine, we shopped at Shaw's. I worked there as a kid. Then Publix was I love Publix. It's my favorite. And now we just shop at Meijer. It's right around the corner, but Meijer is a great supermarket.
Uh,
yeah.
we have
They got a
Meyer.
good
It's
butcher.
good.
Yeah.
Nicole hates
Yeah.
Meyer because of the way that they label everything on the shelves, section and shelf and all this. She can never figure it out. And I'm like, that's because I do all the dang grocery shopping usually. I know where everything is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to pose a question to you guys. And this is
Uh-oh.
again something that came up today for me. And I was thinking about it. And that is, I'm sure that you guys can relate. Sedge, I don't want to say you're relatively new on the YouTube side of things, right? But like you haven't been in your current shop and like been trying to structure it in a way that was good for video for like the past 5 years, right? But you did it work, right? So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
think that this is a pertinent topic. So for work, it's one thing. But in the past, anytime I've ever made any improvements to my shop, looked at organization, needed to make some sort of quick pedestal or a shop storage cabinet or whatever, I would always have the tendency to try to one, over engineer it, two, make it nicer than it needs to be because it's a shop. Um, and I was thinking about it, and because I built something today which I would have never done in the past. At what point, or like, do you guys think you've gotten to a point now where you're less concerned about how something looks over functionality?
Ooh.
Because I'll tell you what I made. Um, so my the bench pilot.
Mhm.
It's been sitting on my MFTs for I don't know a month and a half now, 2 months, and obviously I don't want to lose that space. I can't leave it there, right? It just gets in the way. So I was going to build like this, MFT or Shaper bench pilot workstation, basically, right? But I don't want to build another cabinet right now. I just don't. Like I want to build a piece of furniture, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But so I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to put it on top of these Husky tool chests that I have. They're about the right size.
Mhm.
But with a shaper, if you're doing anything vertical, you kind of have to not have anything underneath, right? Because you lose the ability to open a drawer because that vertical plate would stop it. So I'm like, well, how can I maintain use of this? And I was like, why not just build a pedestal that'll raise it up to where it clears that drawer and I can still open and close the drawer as long as as much as I need to. I could even make it a drawer for Shaper Origin products, because it'll probably be a
Mhm.
while before I ever build some workstation. My first reaction was I got to build some fancy, pedestal and really think this through and like what's going to work because, it's like my shop and I have stuff on video and I want it to look nice and all of these things, right? And then I said, wait a minute. I don't care about any of that stuff. All I need is to prop this dang thing up, right? I was like grabbing, this Riffson MDF white oak, MDF core, and I was going to make it all nice. I was thinking about edge banding it and stuff. And I'm like, I don't have time for this, right? Like, I just
Exactly.
need to get this propped up. What can I do? I looked over to the side and I was like, look, I've got a scrap piece of 1/2 inch Baltic birch, and I've got a bunch of scrap pieces of 3/4. I'll just cut these things down, 4 of these, put them across, put the 1/2 inch on top, narrow crown staple those things in, put the bench pilot on top, and boom, there's my pedestal. And I did it, and it worked great. Took me a few minutes.
Hmm.
Functionality is awesome. I was able to slide things underneath it. It's wonderful. But I feel like, and I was thinking about it, I'm like, am I at a point now where like I'm more concerned with just the functionality of it, as opposed to like, who cares, right? Look, who cares what it looks like in the backdrop? You know what I mean? It works. It's
Hmm.
a pedestal. So I was just curious, like, do you guys think about those things when you're doing stuff, or are you just like, I just need to get something done that works really well? And then maybe if you like the idea later on, you could improve on it and make it nicer. But what would you guys do in that situation?
I take your route almost always. And I think about Sedge and his recent miter station. I think the reason why he probably felt comfortable doing that is he knew that was something that will work for him. He's been doing it long enough that he's not going to change the way he works. So it was worth the effort. But like my miter one right now is still 2x4 frames with plywood on top of it that has extension on each side and it works. So does it make it on my to-do list? Like, no, not at all. And
Right.
there's nothing that I would change about it right now. It could look better, but I'm in survival mode and I can't imagine spending too much time on that. It just wouldn't be a good use of my time for sure. But I look forward to doing that. But I think it was important for you to do that because you could have spent all this time and then been like, oh, I shouldn't have made it come out this far, or I shouldn't have made it be,
Right.
I should have done this. And car companies do the same thing. They make clay models first.
Yes.
They
You,
make sure it works first before they start putting the
you,
time into it.
you made yourself a working prototype.
Yeah. Better than a SketchUp
And
thing.
Jason, you're gonna watch one of your videos and go, oh, and you got to say forget it at some point because um, Chris and I in videos right now, we did a lot to the shop. You know, we took out the garage door openers and we put in the American green lights and we did a bunch of stuff to make it a so we could shoot video. We don't have to move lights around. But if you look in the background, I got tons of clutter. It drives me crazy, but then I go, it's my shop.
It's real.
It
Yeah.
and you
It's
know what? I wanted to do that miter saw stand so bad. We had a video planned, and I said, Chris, I'm tired of it. And we just started shooting it. That took us 2.5 months,
yeah. Wow.
and it sucked all that. But you know what? I have
It's
it
awesome
now,
though. It's
and
awesome.
I'm taking my time with the Kaizen foam. I got all my foam, but I'm doing a drawer like on a Sunday, every other Sunday. And it is such a pleasure to do it. Am I shooting some video? Here and there. But the thing that worked out well with that is Chris said, Sedge, we got to do more builds. You know, we did this, was it this weekend? No, we shot it last weekend. We released it this weekend. A, I thought and 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 I thought. And I went, what is a woodworking project that teaches a lot? It may look simple, and I have done mitered frames my whole life, right? And I did part one of it. Oh my God, the videos kick in serious, but
Awesome.
I think we got 9,000 views on it in just over 24 hours. I'm pretty
Oh,
excited about
nice.
it. It's because it teaches a bunch of simple woodworking skills. It
Mhm.
teaches a lot about measuring. And this weekend we're shooting the finishing touches of it. You know, like we just popped that out of the clamps and we stopped because we had a 20-minute video already. And but and I said, where were my struggles in woodworking? And it was that freaking miter. All
Mhm.
the different ways to accomplish it, but the best daggone and the quickest is that domino. 6x40 in that from long point, and I teach all about that. And everybody go, and I said, okay, after, hey, I'm gonna do this on the miter, and then stop. And then I said, okay, Chris, you ready? I go, hey, you've made it this far in the video. We had so much fun doing it. It was like less than 15 seconds into the video. Go, hey, you made it this far. If you are a craftsman who's been woodworking their entire lives, there's a lot of tips and tricks of basic woodworking in here. And if you're just beginning, so I've done mitered frames for doors and on the channel over the years, but I said let's just do something simple. Hey, Ronnie, I call you and Cam out in it.
Oh, do you? I
Because
haven't seen
guess
it
what?
yet.
Oh, no,
Hmm.
no. You know what I did? I said, what am I going to put in there? And you know that H.O. Studley post you guys gave me?
Hmm.
Okay, you don't see it behind here right now. I'm making a really nice cherry frame for it.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So sometimes you make something that you've wanted to make for years and years because you stared at it. My first bench down in Fort Lauderdale, I was in a storage unit. I think I've said this, and I worked off a 2x4 frame and some boards I just crown stapled on top because I needed overhangs for clamping. I drilled two holes for dogs, and I lived with that. But guess what? It was a totally functional
Hmm.
bench for what I needed,
Hmm.
and it looked like a disaster. But boy, I didn't mind cutting into it, you
Yeah.
know. So there's sometimes I've always built for function. And it just happens that I'm looking around the shop now and I go, I can't get rid of that set of drawers right there. I can't get rid of that set of drawers over there. I made those. So I keep things too long sometimes, but as I build new stuff over the years. And sometimes like that miter saw stand was, yeah, someday I'll build a real nice one. And I keep saying someday, someday, I finally hit that point where I was like, okay, I'll redo it.
Well, I mean that's a good example. It's not that's not a crazy over the top. It's a bank of cabinets that has the same size drawers. It fits your needs. It's functional. It's not because like nowadays when you see online, it's like everybody that builds a miter saw station, and I'm saying this before I start redesigning one, but they're all looking at it and like, okay, what am I going to do with this that no one else has done that's going to break the internet, right? Like, I want people to buy my plans. And so they do all of these crazy things and in depth, and it looks really fancy and it has this feature and that feature. And
Yep.
I do think that YouTube has perpetuated or social media has perpetuated a lot of this because you do have a lot of people who, one, and I'm guilty of this, like want their shop to look nice. But I almost feel like it gives people like a false sense of what a
No.
shop should be. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Like because if you look at all, I get comments all the time
Me too.
from people, and it's like talking about how clean my shop is, or there's not a speck of dust on any of those tools in the background. You never even use them. It's just a show thing and all that stuff, right? Like, so part of that is, jealousy. But the other part of that is that most people live in this regular real world where they're going out in their shop, it's dusty, it's dirty, they don't have nice dust collection. So then they see these shops that have like walnut cabinetry on the wall, with super expensive everything. And it's like this false sense. But as a creator, I'm somebody who has given into that. Like I'll never forget. Um, I was in. It was before I moved to Greenwood. It's before I moved to Indiana, and I went out to Jay Bates' shop, and I was asking him to help me design a layout. And he did something or asked me a question and laid the shop out in a certain way. And he was walking me through the first one. He was like, "Well, this would be good for this," and then like, when you're filming, it's going to have this in the background. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even think of that. Right. So my mind like shifted focus and it
Hmm.
was like, I need to be aware that, all of this stuff is on camera all the time.
Hmm.
So of course, now this is like my movie set and I want to have things placed. I had my fancy
Hmm.
woodpecker wall and my Bessie clamps all hanging and, my Festool stuff in the backdrop. And it became this thing where it was like I was basically building a studio as opposed to a woodworking shop.
Shop.
And I think that's why I approached things that I would be building in that
Hmm.
sense. Because it was like if I was using Baltic birch plywood for all of my shop cabinets, I better use it for this platform thing that
Uh,
I'm building. And if I put, walnut edge banding on it, so I have that contrast, like I got to keep that. And so my whole mind's set just kind of shifted. And now I'm just kind of like, I don't know if it's just that, I'm
No,
kind of getting
no,
to be the old guy on YouTube, right?
yeah, no,
That like now I'm
you
just like, I don't give a crap about any of that stuff. Like I just need
good,
to prop this thing up for 4 inches. It doesn't
good.
need to be let's incorporate a narrow drawer that has undermount drawer slides and it has this tray that pulls
No.
out. And when you pull it out, it has a cutting board that like whatever, like I
So,
just need a platform.
okay, so here's what'll transfer into your videos from that. Oh, he did it like me. I don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Aha, right? And that is, Jason, we all know how authentic you are, you know, and it, but those, okay, so I'm gonna hold something up so people watch the YouTube version of this. But when someone says to me, "Oh yeah, you got all that Festool. Oh yeah, you got all of that equipment in there. Of course you can do that." This is what goes through my mind, and this is what should go through your mind when people say, "Oh, yours is too clean."
Bite me. He held up a naked picture of himself, everyone.
Okay, so it's listen, I'm 62 years old. Everything in that shop I've purchased. And you know what? Daggone it, I deserve it. So if somebody wants to say something to me, I'd like to talk to them in person,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Because come on, that is jealousy.
Well, it's not even.
Jason, it just function, just build for function. Forget it, nail it,
Yeah,
and
it's not necessarily about like the comments like that. I was just using that kind of as an example that it does definitely stems from that, but I do think people lose relatability. It's not just tools, right? It's not just tools
yep.
that make people lose relatability. It's like you have this perfect movie set of a shop that let's say you're using $180 a sheet plywood in the backdrop. Like, yeah, sure, that's a creature comfort, but that just adds another layer of complexity to an already complex situation. Like, I guarantee you, if my shop is always messy and there was dust everywhere and I didn't have all those really expensive tools just out on
Mhm.
display in the backdrop all the time, hence, why I plan on putting all that stuff in cabinets, subconsciously, I actually do believe I would reach a different group of people quicker. They may still decide to leave after they see the video where I'm using tools that they may not be able to afford. But it's just that subliminal thing of like, I'm watching this video, everything doesn't look absolutely flawless and perfect. It looks just like a regular person's shop. I can focus now on what he's saying
Mhm.
and what he's doing and less focus on being envious of all the things that are in the background of his video.
Yeah,
And a lot of that is also from
Mhm.
overbuilding certain things just to get views and all this other stuff, right?
So it's human nature. I didn't realize this. You told me it was going to happen. People are always asking about, hey, what was that on the wall over there? And I'll tell you what, it's human nature because every time Ronnie comes on, I'm always looking in
Yes.
the background, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have
He's
at
got
least
that.
5 times.
Okay, and I love it because I'm always looking at that walnut.
Yeah, I know it's not
That
moving. You know
hasn't moved.
what?
So hey,
If I move it, I'm gonna forget about it. That's why. So I
Yeah.
leave it
okay.
there.
I want to take you guys back for a second. When you were first starting building for your homes, because that's how we all started, right? Could you afford the walnut and the cherry, the babinga, or the wenge, all that exotic wood? No. What'd you build out of?
Pine,
Construction grade
two
lumber
by
from
four.
Lowe's and Home Depot
Exactly.
because I
Exactly.
thought
We
that that's
all
where you
did.
bought lumber.
Okay, so hey, if Hibbs is listening, I used to rip apart pallets, okay? Because I wanted to build stuff for the house and I had pallet furniture. I don't care. I'm not proud, but I did have money. And now, when I can go and get some nice cherry or some nice walnut and I could build something nice, I'm like, I love this. I love woodworking. So, for anybody out there and you're just getting started, it's a journey. You know, you don't have to build a frame out of cherry or exotic wood. Build it out of pine. Go get some poplar, some aspen. That's a nice wood that they sell at Home Depot, and Lowe's. I mean,
Is that what they
just
also call whitewood?
no, whitewood is like a pine.
Yeah,
Though I
there's
think it's Lowe's that has aspen. I
yeah.
think.
I think sometimes I see whitewood on the tag. I'm like, what's whitewood?
Yeah, aspen, I
Uh,
think.
yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah, so I just tell people, man, practice with that stuff but guess what? You'll get to a point where, oh wow, I have a really nice shop,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. I look around. This could be another way to take this conversation. I had a Patreon call last night for mine, which reminds me, Bourbon with the Boys is this Friday. But um, I had a conversation. And it had something to do with like rebuilding something that they had made in the shop or whatever, and that it was like frustrating because looking back at it now they would have done it different. But look back at everything that you've done in the past, right? It's you are constantly chasing this evolution of what works, right? Because
Hmm.
you get into building something else and something it doesn't work, right? Like my assembly table. I thought that was the assembly table to end all assembly tables. It's so functional. Then I get a sliding table saw. I don't use it the way that I used to. I don't need it. And now I want to go smaller, right? Or when you start out and you think you need a 4x8, and then you're like, I don't need that big. And you make like a 2x3, and you're like, this is too small. So you're always rebuilding
Hmm.
and iterating on what you've already made, whether it's you made a shop storage cabinet and it had two adjustable shelves, but now you want to have adjustable shelves and something else, right? Like, so you're going to rebuild that. And next time you build it better. And then 7 months down the road, you're like, man, it would be really helpful if I had this because you get some new tool, right? So it was funny because it was almost kind of like, don't be discouraged or disappointed because you are now having to rebuild something that you already made. The need has changed and the
Correct.
functionality requirements have changed.
Correct.
Therefore, take what you learned on that one and put that into the new one with
Hmm.
whatever, if there's things you don't like about it, take those out, add the things that you want, see how that works, and then you just keep perfecting. I mean, that's how anything is created,
Hmm.
you know?
Yep.
It's a constant like, hey, this little thing right here could be better. All right, well let's make it better. But like everything, like all the furniture in my house and stuff that I've made, I look at it and like I made those concrete the coffee table and the side
Hmm.
tables. At the time, we liked it. We loved it. Now it's like this isn't our style.
Hmm.
And it's made of walnut. My wife wants white oak freaking everything, right? Just because it looks better,
Clean.
right? And so we want to build something else. Guess what? 2 years from now, we'll probably having the same conversation, and we'll be saying, the style changed, and we're looking for something else, or we need more functionality because the kids eat breakfast at it, or whatever. And now we want the ability to have like chairs that slide in and out, or whatever the case is, right? So just because you build something doesn't mean that that's the last time you're gonna make that or your needs aren't going to change. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I think it's important to dabble. Like the basement project that I did, I really enjoyed that project.
Ooh, that's
Why?
cool. It looks great.
Well, thank you. But why
Wow.
did I enjoy it? Because there was a bunch of crap that I'm not used to doing,
Yep.
and it was exciting because I learned a ton, right? And I would ask people, you, Sedge, I'd ask Ronnie things. I would ask Adam Fuller things. I would ask other people that I knew who have done stuff like this. All the LED light stuff, I got the information from Steve. So it was like this wealth of new knowledge. And of course, I got to buy some new tools. This wealth of new knowledge that I now have that I can then take into another project, later on and inevitably just build it better. It's the same thing when it comes to furniture. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
By the way, that
But
final snapper worked great.
Oh, good. Yeah, thing's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Um, I wish I would have had that when I did flooring in my Greenwood house. But when I did all the flooring here, I bought a bunch of fancy tools. Some influencer, uh, big flooring guy, great dude. He recommended in his videos, and I ended up buying like all of the things, and now I have them.
Yeah, it's cool. I didn't even use it. Marianne did.
Yeah,
She put
Was
down the
it
floor.
is the guillotine cutter one?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I have that. I love it.
It's really nice. Works really good, and you need it on the flooring that I have because that stuff's super thick, and it does not.
Yeah.
You cannot score and snap it.
Yeah.
I've used that on vinyl siding too, on soffits. It works.
Why
Oh
is it?
yeah,
Why is it? I like tile snappers. You score it and snap it. I just love that.
Phew, I have a love-hate relationship with those. I use those a lot before I got a power
Yeah.
saw. And
Yeah.
sometimes it will snap that tile on the end. If you don't get it scored right
Yeah.
across, oh my gosh, especially on the porcelain
Yeah.
kind of tile.
Yeah. I had an expensive
Yeah.
one. I had a Ruby, RUBI.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
Yeah. I
Do you know
just,
where my do you know where mine came from? I rented it from Color Tile when I was corporate boy, and it was across the street from my house. I rented it for $20. Took it back the next day, out of business. The whole company shut down. Color Tile was no more.
wow.
There was nowhere to return it to. I should have rented a power saw.
you thief.
The door was locked. It said closed permanently, and that Color Tile I think closed across the country. Do you remember that place? It used to be called Color Tile. It
No.
was a pretty big. This was been 23 years ago, maybe. But
Wow.
I still have that tile cutter.
I don't even think I was born then.
Yeah, it's really true.
Ah.
But it's fun to get new tools.
I
Really cool.
well, I did buy one of those powder actuated nail guns for the like concrete.
Yeah.
The thing sucked.
Yeah.
I
Like I
even went
said.
one up on the 22 shells, and it still
Hmm.
wouldn't even like not even an eighth of an inch did it go into the
I,
concrete.
I have one, but I still prefer tap cons because you can control them and you know for sure they bit into the concrete and it's fast, especially when you're using that big hammer drill. What's the model? I refer to Sedge for model names.
Oh,
What is the not the
TPC.
TPC. No, the other one, the bigger one. The one that
KHC.
yeah, the KHC. I used to use a big bulldog and I've switched over to the KHC and it's
Hmm.
awesome.
Oh, let's chat about the old tap cons here for a minute. So you remember how I did the pressure treated? I did the bottom plate pressure treated, and then I actually put another regular 2x4 on top of the pressure treated, and that
Yeah.
was a recommend. So I had a double bottom plate, right,
Yeah.
basically. And that was a recommendation from Adam. He was like, that's actually how we build them. We'll always do pressure treat on the bottom, but then we'll actually build our wall on top of that. And he
Hmm.
said there's a couple of benefits. One, you can go ahead and put down your next bottom plate of a regular 2x4 on top of it, but you can mark all of your stud locations on the floor and on the ceiling, and then you can just put your studs in, which is the way I wanted to do it instead of building the wall and trying to get it in there and get it to fit. So thank you, Adam, because that worked like wonderfully. But I was so impressed by how the tight bond tight grab actually worked that I was like, I don't know if I'm going to add any tap cons. And then I talked to Ronnie, and I decided to go back and add tap cons. And this time, just so you know, Ronnie, before I had told you that like I had issues with them snapping all of the time, and it was a huge pain in the butt. Well, this time I made sure that I drilled deep enough, and I did not
Hmm.
have one problem, not
Hmm.
one. Every single one of them went in so smooth. But I posted one of them on Instagram, and video got well over 1 million views. Of course, it's a close up of drilling and setting screws. I don't know why that's the formula to instant success on Instagram, but it is. But it's also important because it triggers the trades. And so I had two bottom plates. That's 3 inches. On the tap cons, it says a minimum of 1 inch. It needs to go into the concrete at a minimum of 1 inch, right? So I
Hmm.
was like, cool, I'll get 4 inch, lag screws. It'll go into the concrete an inch. It's also reinforced with the construction grade adhesive to the bottom.
Hmm.
And obviously the vertical studs are in there nice and tight. Walls are not going anywhere, is basically what I'm getting at. But for
Hmm.
good measure, based on Ronnie's recommendation, I went around and TapCon everything, and it went in perfectly fine. Man, if you ever want have some fun one night, have a beer and go through and read the comments on that video.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. So many people would say you did nothing. None of that even went into the concrete. That what a waste of a TapCon. Why next time? Why don't you try getting one that actually goes into the concrete? Like stupid stuff like that. And I'm like, I literally did what the manufacturer's recommended instructions are. They're 4-inch screws, guy. This it's going through 3 inches and then into the concrete. So dumb.
If you went much more, you'd be coming out the other side of the slab.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like poke a hole and like water would start
Yeah.
coming up from
You'd
underneath
be
the.
hitting gravel.
Yeah. So no, it worked amazingly. Like I have
Wow. Okay,
no
I got a
problem.
question for you.
7 inches.
Yes. Okay. So I hate Tapcons that a Phillips has. I throw them all out.
Me
It has
too.
to be a hex.
I
Why
got
do
the
they
hex
have the flatheads?
I don't know.
to piss people off.
I mean
I
the
don't know.
Phillips. Why do they
Yeah.
have those?
They're also cone head, which doesn't work on
No.
you. Everything you're putting, you want to be flush mount. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure who's using those or who wants those.
I only
I
buy
don't.
the hex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. And I always go with what size? It's always I use the inch and quarters a lot, where I use a 3/16 inch bit. So I think they're 3/8,
Yep.
3/8. If you go any smaller than that, they are real easy to snap. So I don't ever go any smaller than that. I always go hex head.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know the sound of when a head snaps. Cameron and I were working not too long ago, and I was on the other side all the way across, and I heard that noise. It's like, you snapped the head, didn't you? And he's like, how'd you know? You can hear it. It's like a
Yep.
it's
Yep.
like
Wait, what does it do?
it's like the click at the
No, but
end.
what did it do before that though?
It's the we use an impact to put them in, which a lot of
I'm
people
gonna
wouldn't
make a
do that.
sound bite.
But if you
Yeah, clunk.
yeah, if you get used to using an impact, that's the best thing to put them in with. Which most
Yeah.
if you didn't know what you were doing, you'd snap the head off every single time for sure.
I
It
use an
works so
impact to
good.
set them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to back off at just the right
Yep.
time
You got
and
to
you're good.
feather it right. Yep.
Yep. Yep. It's easier. When I try to do it with a regular drill, it's like it
No.
feels like you got a hand behind your back or something. It's just not good.
Yeah.
I feel like you have more of a chance of snapping the head with a regular drill than you do the
Yes, you do.
impact.
Yeah, you do.
You know? Yeah. Yeah, they are brittle to a certain extent, but they're strong. Gosh, have you ever tested the strength of one of those? I see now that's one thing that I would be tempted to comment when people are doing tap cons. I see it sometimes and they way overdo it, but they don't realize. I mean, one tap con, like if you put a 2x4 one tap con in, you would not be able to pull it out. Like it is rock solid with that coarse threading in the concrete. They are super strong.
I had uh quite a few people that ridiculed me because I didn't not only was I not wearing a mask because I was drilling the concrete, but because I didn't vacuum out the hole.
If you drill it deep enough, it doesn't
Ridiculed.
matter.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ridiculed.
Yeah. That's
I'm like,
that's the
it's
key.
fine. They all set just fine, everyone. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
Tyler from Forge 3D, one of our sponsors, he even decided to leave me a little comment saying something similar,
Does he
which is
clean
why,
out? Does he clean out all his holes?
yeah, I bet you he does. He likes a clean hole.
Likes a clean hole.
Yeah. He's
You know,
real
it's
OCD and he's anal about his
Oh,
hole.
oh, 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 that's a good one.
Love you, Tyler.
I think it's a benefit to just over drill the hole, the depth, because to
Yep.
get it out, if you stuck a vac on there, I'm not sure it's going to get that out all the way to the bottom because it's going to be starved for air. And then if you use like an air thing or something, some people put little things and blow the air out, you're putting a ton of dust up in the air.
Yep.
And when I'm working on like a patio and working at somebody's house, I'm not going to make their house all messy by doing that. So I just drilled a little deeper than what it needs to be.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
think
I
I've ever
just
vacked out my
backed out your
my
hole.
Tapcon hole.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys, completely unrelated to what we're talking about. But I
7
need to
inches.
know. I need to know the answer to this.
Okay.
Do you guys use spray foam cans often?
Yep.
What do you do to make sure that you can utilize the rest of that spray can later on? Because I bought one. I put spray for Sedge. I saw you looking at it. The door that I installed for the gym,
Hmm.
just because I was trying to really keep as much noise out as possible. I was
Yes.
like, let me fill this gap with this foam.
Hmm.
And by the way, that worked. Like night and day difference from what I can hear in the basement now
No
versus what I
shit.
could hear before. Oh my God, yes. But it says on there this tip, reusable tip. And it's
I've
like,
seen it.
don't break it off, let it dry. And then when you're ready to use it again, break it off and use it. But I'm like, but everything in the tube dries as well. So is
Yeah,
the
they
only
Yeah.
way to do it, you have to take it off, rinse it out?
no,
But
they say upside down, bleed it out, right?
yeah, and then they say to twist the tip around now and put it into the little nozzle on the other
Yep.
side. But the problem that I've found, if you take the straw even out of the equation, it loses gas really quick. It doesn't have
Yeah.
the power. I have so many that I've tried to save that are like more than half full, but they won't do anything. Even if I take
Yeah.
the straw off, nothing will come out. So I see those as a one-time use thing.
Every time I have to foam, I foamed last summer to foam in a hornet's nest, uh, and because or where they were going in to form a nest in my basement by the chimney flue. There was a so in the fall I sealed it up around the. I'm always
Yeah.
finding. I used to use a ton of foam when I first moved into this house because of just some of the poor construction. I
Yeah.
use it for
Yeah.
air sealing around all my jams and stuff like that. I pulled a lot of my casing off
It,
and foamed it in.
that's another one that bugs me. Why do they make it fluorescent yellow? Does anybody feeling something on a surface that's fluorescent yellow ever? Why do they do that? It's like blue Tapcons and yellow foam. That drives me
Yep.
crazy. why isn't
I
why
never
isn't the
thought of that.
why isn't the foam black? Can it be
Yeah.
black? That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. It would be a whole new use category if they made it black instead of fluorescent yellow. I
Speaking
don't
of
understand
that,
that.
when I walked into the gym, I understood. Okay. I was like, why is he painting that black? The ceiling black. And then when I was in there, I was like, oh. And then Marianne came down. She went, oh, this is nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
now that
I like the white trim too.
yeah, now that it's done, like I get it, right? But like the whole time, also, and Ronnie, you were 100% right. Like now with the natural light being completely washed out, basically, I put blinds, like light filtering shades, kind of like what you see behind me. I
Hmm.
put one of those down there, and then with the lights, and now the lights projecting down, and so it almost masks the wall. Now Sedge saw it because he got up close to the wall and he knew immediately what I was talking about. And so did Patrick and Michelle. And they actually had a good thing. Like I probably made the mistake by spraying the first coat anyways, but because I was so happy with what it looked like after the primer, but of course you can't see any of that when the primer's on. Um, they had a really good suggestion, like if you were to go back and roll this with like a 3/4 inch
Yeah.
nap roller,
Yep. So
you wouldn't
so
even notice any of it at that point because it would give it the whole wall texture.
so Jason, I sprayed a kitchen, a hallway, and an upstairs hallway with these professional painters up in Burlington, Vermont once. And I would spray and then they followed with a roller. I always thought you follow with a roller after you spray.
Well, it depends. It depends on the service. So I did a bunch of research on this, and there's a guy. What's that? Idaho painter?
Paint
Yep.
life guy. Yeah.
Yes. So that guy is a freaking wealth of knowledge when it comes to painting.
Oh
He
yeah.
actually has a video because we said we did that in the garage, sprayed and
Yeah,
rolled.
and then we rolled. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Because I was under the same impression, like you want a back roll.
Yeah.
But one of the things he talks about in the video is the more rough your surface is, the more important it is to back roll. If you're spraying with an airless sprayer on a smooth surface, such as a wall, back rolling isn't necessary. However, I would never, ever spray my walls again without back rolling unless it was a perfect, smooth level 5 finish.
Which
Correct.
no
Because,
walls are. No walls
right,
are though.
if you are, well, no wall that I could afford is.
Well, no walls I've ever seen. Like even
Yeah,
in $2 million, there's not. No one's
it's,
specifying that.
yeah.
Like if they are, yeah, they're gonna have glossy walls that look like
But
those doors that
yeah,
you see. But
but that, I mean,
I
that's really the only way I can imagine because the airless sprayer, any spray system, it lays the paint down so perfectly and even and smooth. If your substrate is not perfectly smooth, it will pick up every single one of
Everything.
those. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
every painter that I've seen you does back roll it because they kind of have to because their wall's
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
perfect. They they do that because it, like you
So,
said, it lays down such a glass coat. It calls that out.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we all know Zach from ZK Painting. He uses fine paints in Europe, and he spends all his time prepping the walls
Mhm.
because when he puts that on,
Oh, especially the gloss stuff like that.
oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God. And I go, who
You'll
buys
notice.
that? He goes, you would be surprised the houses
Yeah.
he's in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those jobs are impeccable. Everybody thinks it's just for doors, but there's a lot of people that are, I mean, they're not $2 million homes. They're like
Yeah.
30, 40
Yeah.
million,
Yeah.
50 million
Yeah.
dollar homes.
Yeah. They're out of the price range of people in
Yeah,
the $2 million price
yeah,
range. It's
yeah.
it's like it's stupid money.
And
It's
it's
stuff.
and it's
Right.
Yeah.
it's all prepping the surface.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that honestly, out of all the things that I did on that project, that was the best learning experience of all of it. Was like, okay, I know I'll never do that again, right?
Hmm.
And I could go back and roll one more coat with a really thick nap and just get a little bit of texture,
No,
but it's unnecessary. It's
no.
not needed. Um, but now I know. You know what I mean? Like,
Patrick said that mirror was heavy.
oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's another thing, Ronnie. Thank you for that because um, the first thing you were telling me, the recommendation, I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. You were like, I'm like trying to envision, and it was like you were speaking Japanese. And then when you said, you're like, or you could just put one, full solid sheet on the backside and then have something to drill into for your French cleat. Dude, it worked perfectly.
I caught one of your stories where you were hanging it. It looked like you used a method similar, but I didn't see the before part. Like
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
what I
it
did
did
is I put all three. Part of me really wishes I would have filmed this project because I think this would have been a project that people would have watched and
Oh
liked to see.
yeah.
But holy cow, would that have taken me way too long. But I put the three mirrors together. I lined them all up perfectly, and then I pushed them all together as tight as they would go. And believe it or not, the mirrors are not perfectly flat.
Nope.
They are absolutely not perfectly flat. But I put them all on, and then I put. You told me to get what was that stuff you said?
Palmer's.
Yeah,
Palmer's.
Palmer's
Uh,
mastic or
yeah, that's just the brand that I was recommended, but I'm sure there's other brands.
yeah. So I looked into it. The only problem was is that I couldn't find anything that I was going to be able to. I wanted to do it. I had to do it like the next day, I think, or the day after that, because I wanted to give it time to cure before I hung it. And my goal was to have it ready to go when Patrick came because I knew I wasn't going to be able to lift this freaking mirror on my own. So I found like Loctite mirror adhesive, and essentially based on a bunch of stuff I read online, and I had actually spoken to a company that was like, well, we don't, a local company. They're like, well, we don't carry that. But he goes, between you and I, like just about every company makes something that will work just the same. You just got to make sure you get the right one so it doesn't damage the coating on the back of the glass.
Right.
And I remembered you saying that. And so I bought 3 tubes of it, which I wish I would have bought more because I almost felt like that wasn't enough. I basically used one because when you use that electric caulking gun, that stuff comes out of there I know you can adjust the speed, but I mean
Mhm.
you'll empty that thing like that. So I used 1 tube on the backside of each mirror and I took a sheet of plywood and I cut it down to where it had some space around the edges. And I just put the stuff on, marked out on the mirror where I needed that to go to make sure that everything was going to be level when I put so I had a good reference to hang my French cleat. laid that down, put some pressure on it, but not too much because I didn't want to risk breaking the glass. And I just let it sit for like 36 hours, 48 hours on the ground. And then I got the metal channel French cleat that you can buy from any of the home stores. And I put a couple of 2x4s up on the wall, mounted my stuff, made sure everything was perfectly level, put it on the back side of that plywood with those tiny little screws all the way across. And Patrick and I, we used the Grabos, and we just, we lifted it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we each had a Grabo. We lifted the whole thing up and was standing straight up. We went to the front side of the mirrors, and I was like, man, this is, if it's gonna fall, this is where it's gonna
Yeah.
fail. And we each put it on there, and we just got down, lifted up, put it on, had the ladies behind it looking to make sure that it was on, and it done like that.
Awesome.
Wow.
And that thing was heavy. I mean, 200 pounds probably.
Yeah, I'm sure.
50 pounds a mirror plus the plywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it worked great. Still hanging.
Wow.
I mean, it hasn't fallen off the wall. And
That's
then I did
it.
the LED lights. You know what else it really helped me on was I was going to put the LED light strips on the back side of the glass facing back towards the wall because I thought that that's how I needed to illuminate it. But what I ended up doing, I used Philips Hue, and the Philips Hue light strips are really thick. So you can't like create corners. You had to get like these corner adapters. So you'd have to cut it, and then you can only cut it in certain places. So like pray to God that the distance is right. And then you have to use a corner connector, and then you have to have these adapters. And so I didn't have any of that. So I had to order that. And then as I was sitting there looking at the plywood, I'm like, why don't I just wrap these on the plywood and have the light facing outward? And it has adhesive on the back. I just went around the entire perimeter, and dude, it worked perfectly.
Mhm.
Perfectly. So I wasted my money on all those stupid connectors that I'm never going to use.
Yeah, that works out nice to have it on
Yeah.
there. And you can also change it out pretty easy if you ever needed to.
Yeah.
And Mama's happy with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only issue that I have now, and I reached out to Adam Fuller about this, and he gave me some good advice. You remember how I was worried about like airflow in the room?
Yeah.
So when you walk in there and you close the doors, you can tell like the temperature is certainly different because I mean it's very well insulated because it has all that safe and sound in the ceiling and the walls. So it'll retain that temperature. And the minute you walk out the room, it's like a basement. It's a little bit cooler. So what we've been doing is we've just been leaving the doors open.
Mm.
So I asked him, I was like, I need to get some air movement in here to make sure that it doesn't just get stale while you're working out. And I was like, what recommendations would you have? And he was like, well, one, you can tap into your air unit because it's literally right on the other side of the wall. And I could put a little vent all the way up in the corner above where the TV is. It would barely even be noticeable. Just get a cool black vent, poke straight through the wall, and tie into the existing and actually get some cool air in there or warm air when needed. And then he's like, but then you would also probably want to add some sort of other vent to let the air flow out, right? So you
Yep.
got to get that circulation.
return.
You could do that towards the floor.
Mhm.
And so I might do that at some point. And he said, if you don't want to tap into the AC unit, you can actually buy through wall units that have like a fan in them that will allow air to circulate
Oh.
into the room and out.
Hmm.
So I might have to do that.
You know, you could
later.
also do like a return air vent somewhere like on the wall on both sides, so it allows like some free flow of air. You could even put like, for example, like black foam between it, so you can't see light through it, but it's still letting air go through. That way,
Oh, just adding a couple of vents just to allow
Mhm.
kind of like opening a window in one room and another
Yep.
room, and it
Yep.
creates that air passage.
Yep,
Yep.
yep, yep. And you could paint that black, and you wouldn't even see it.
Well, that's a good thing. You can buy those vents black.
Yeah,
All
you
the
can buy them.
all the
Yeah,
rage
Just
now.
do it. Do it if
Make it
needed.
on. You can make a vent on the shaper. You can make your grate on the shaper.
There we go. I
Quarter
actually
inch
went
great.
plus.
I
quarter
want to
inch
use my
material.
Origin to do flush mount floor vents. That's
Yeah,
becoming quite popular,
Yep.
and they look so nice.
Yep.
yeah, that is.
Mm.
I
And
saw a guy.
the kids can put more stuff in those too,
Yeah,
like candy and you know.
there's a cool company. They're actually in Indiana. I saw an Instagram post about it the other day, and a guy just had a template that he put down on the floor, and then
Mhm,
uses a flush uh, or a bearing flush bit set to the
mhm.
right depth, whatever the thickness of the grate is, and just whatever the floor is, whether it's hardwood, whether it's LVP, whether it's whatever. Um, does it flush, and then you just drop these things on. Well, he took a can of black spray paint, like sprayed the internal portion of the vent
Hmm.
black, so when you look down, it was really. I
Mhm.
was like, man, that's really freaking cool. And they're metal. And then I looked at how much they cost, and I was like, I don't know if they're that cool.
Do they come with the
Yeah.
bit and the template?
Actually, I think they do. The company I looked at, I think they do. I think they send you a template for whatever one you're using,
Hmm.
and I believe there was a bit as well. But if not, I mean, just another
Of
reason to.
course.
The shaper would probably be pretty difficult because they're so close to the wall.
Yeah.
It has to have tape to read. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch, almost caught this old house for the first time in a long time because on Sundays we're always doing something. And I
Hmm.
caught the very tail end of Ask This Old House. And they said the next episode, Tommy's using the shaper to build something. Found that interesting. That's going
Oh,
to kind
cool.
of interesting to see that that
I
he's discovered the shaper and what he thinks of it.
I got a phone call from John, text from John Armenia last November, and John was in there coaching them on the shaper.
Okay, well they're
And
gonna.
Dino was in there, the video guy. So I think they were shooting the episode,
Okay,
and they were sh dumping all over me. It was awesome. I needed that. It was the funniest damn video they sent me. Text.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. I would like to be able to catch that one and see. They showed a little preview of it, and he was like, "These stickers go down that tell the machine where to go." It was something like that on the teaser part.
Yeah.
They're looks like they're making a stool.
Yeah.
So
Really cool.
I always find it interesting when he uses newer tools because he's such a like old school knowledgeable person, and it's the same as if my dad or Kelly's dad was using something newfangled like that. What they think of it.
Yeah. You
It's
guys want to hear a cool
interesting.
story?
Hmm.
It's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
Do you know where I was this weekend? I
I'm going to
was
say
the
Detroit.
I was actually Gross Point. Hey, have you guys ever seen that movie Gran Torino?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What a great movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the hardware store that this was at is called Point Hardware. It's where they shot the hardware scenes for Gran Torino.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
And
really?
they, oh yeah. And what was really cool is I met Denise, who's worked there for 30 years, and she said, before you even ask, yes, he is like the greatest dude you ever want to hang out with. Clint Eastwood. She's
Oh,
got
that's
pictures
cool.
of him up behind the counter. She goes, he's great. He was coming in telling jokes all day, and
Mm.
he's just a real cool dude. You wouldn't even think he was from Hollywood, right? So they had listen to this because you guys have both been involved in multiple build offs, right? This guy Wadif, who owns this entire block. It's Point Hardware, Point Lumber, a Marvin window store. That's his. A Festool boutique, and then the end unit. People just moved out, and it's going to be a kitchen and bath design center. This guy is a visionary. Okay, but he said he about 6 months ago we got on a phone call with him. He goes, "I want to do a makers event, and I want to do a build off. I want to do 2-man teams." And I went, "Okay, and what are you going to do?" And he goes, "Well, I'm going to give him the afternoon to build some stuff." So when I get there, I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to go. He had 6 teams sign up. They all put $200 in. Okay. There's actually 5 2-man teams and one single person. That single person did nothing but hand tools, but he was an industrial arts teacher for two schools in the area. His name was Brent. What a super cool guy. Okay. So we're sitting there and everybody's starting to set up at 10 o'clock in the morning. We got there about 9. And Wadif got up and started talking at 11 to say, hey, here are the rules. At 1 o'clock, we start. I want 2 pieces of furniture. And they're, just think of this, fireside, campside, chair, and table. You got 4 hours to build them. And I'm like, he goes, all the material, you have to take it to the counter and we'll ring it up. You don't have to pay for it. Nuts, bolts, whatever, screws. But we also want your hours, what you would charge, so we can. One of the things that we calculate is profitability in your piece. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, how the hell am I going to build a chair and a small table for the fireside? It was impressive. I mean, impressive of what they made. One guy went and bought a domino that morning. He'd never used it. He was the winner, him and his father. The second place was a father and son. The kid was 14. Okay,
Wow.
we had everybody had great chops. It was fantastic. And so I had asked about 3 months before I go, now what if everybody's going to be using Festool? He goes, no, 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 I can't. I can't say it's all going to be Festool. They can bring their own tools, so they bring whatever they want. Oh my God, it was I was all Festool. They were out of the five teams, 6 teams, 4 of them had Capex. It was amazing. Uh, I was so impressed with these guys. So you know what the winner got? $7,000 worth of Festool. Second place was 2,000,
Whoa,
and third place was 1,000 of Festool out of their
man.
store.
Wow.
So he goes, I know it's a little uncomfortable that you have to build these in 4 hours because I feel uncomfortable putting up all the winning money. He is what an amazing event. So it lasted from 1 to 5. At 3 o'clock, they started closing off the street, and we had people walking by, back and forth, saying, "What's going on? What's going on?" These guys were on the sidewalk, plenty of room. Then it started to move into the street a little. After they closed off the street, a band started across the street on the bandstand. By the time I left there at 7 at night, there must have been 2,500 people on that street.
Wow.
What this guy has created and the merchants on that street and Grosse Point have created is a slice of Americana. Listen to this. They take the picnic tables that they had built that we had our meeting at, they brought them into the street and they started putting out markers and crayons and stuff. And I'm going, what's going on here? Then from the back, they brought in 4 pieces a pine wood derby hill. Okay.
Oh,
The
that's cool.
kids made their pine derby racers. Then they painted them. Then they put glued on the wheels and they raced them. And there must have been 30 kids. And there was a first, second, and place gift card for those kids.
Whoa.
Wow.
I had one hell of a time. And what an awesome family this whole thing was. It was so cool. I drove 5.5 hours there and 4.5 hours back because I got stuck in traffic in Detroit, rush hour on Friday. But man, it was so worth it. But
Sounds like a
just what
neat.
this guy has created for that community is amazing. And this was the first ever build off he wanted to do. And it was, boy, he put up some serious prize money, huh?
That's
Well,
amazing.
I have a question about that. What you said he has opened a Festool boutique.
Yeah.
Can you clarify what that is exactly?
It's only Festool and it looks like an Apple store.
Really?
Really?
It's only Festool. That's it. The creepy thing is he has this big television in the back and he's playing Festool live. But
Is is this like an only like the only location that
yeah,
exists? Is this something
yeah.
that Festool wants to start doing or he just did it?
No, no, no. He got a little bit of permission to put up the Festool sign up above and say authorized boutique. And
That's cool.
so if you really think about it, and I thought about this driving home, it's basically he's a Festool dealer. He just calls it Festool Boutique because you can walk through the stores each one of the stores inside to get to this showroom. But he built all custom cabinetry for it. He socked a ton of money into this store. It's beautiful.
Do you have pictures of it?
I have tons of
What
Cool.
video of it.
what
I
is
want to see
what's
it
the
next time I
name
see
of
I
it.
have
what's
tons of video of the makers and what they're building, and I have tons of stuff from the bandstand. It's great.
what's the name of the place again that you
Uh,
said you went
it's
to?
it's Point Hardware.
Hmm.
It's in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, which is basically where the by the lake. I forget how many blocks he is in from the lake, but it's a section of a very affluent neighborhood. It's where the Fords built, the Dodge is built. It's unbelievable.
Is it
Sounds like
P
a
O
really neat.
I N T?
Yeah, Grosse Pointe, Grosse Point, Michigan. It's just Detroit. It's right off of downtown.
There we go. Point Hardware and Lumber.
Yeah, and
I'm
so
just, I want to see if it's kind of on the way home from when I'm up at Eric's. Because I kind of want to stop by and see this place.
dude, it's so cool. So, and you know what the biggest hit was? I was handing out three splinters.
Oh, that's smart.
Three splinters. No, because people looked at my thing. They go, "What's that?" I go, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's a podcast I do." And they go, "Really?"
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really cool. And what a beautiful family Wadif has. Just and these people are just so nice up there. Everybody, e- everybody building was smiling, laughing. The entire crew was smiling. No sourpusses. Uh, Everybody walking through there that night, everybody was just so happy. And I go, what a slice of Americana this is.
Oh, it looks like a really cool area. I'm actually looking on Google Maps right now.
So Jason, the other thing to remember, this whole area is going through gentrification. You go 3, 4, 5 blocks away, and you know the houses that have the plywood drapes. There's lots of those.
Hmm. The plywood
Really?
drapes.
Yeah.
Is it
So there's
walnut? Is it walnut plywood?
yeah, no, there's a lot of deteriorating area, but guess what's happening? It's all coming back.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. And some of the architecture is beautiful on these homes.
Oh yeah, they've got some amazing ones.
Well,
Yeah.
I could drive through there on my way home because it's not too far from. Yeah, I might have to do that. Hopefully they're open on a Saturday.
When you're going up,
The 12th. Oh, wait a minute. It would be on a Sunday. They may not be open on a Sunday. Let me look.
so the block party
Oh, they are.
is the last Saturday of the month through the summer, and this was the last one
Yeah.
on Saturday
I
night.
I'm just interested in seeing this festival boutique. I assume he's well stocked on
Oh,
stuff.
everything. So what was funny, he goes, I'm standing there at the counters late afternoon, and he goes, Sedge, come here. He hands me the phone. I go, hello. And the guy goes, hey, I'm checking to see if you have square pads. And I go, they hand it to me. And I go, yeah, we got them. And 3 boxes of RTS paper. Yeah, we got it. They had everything. So when you look at the store when it's open, you go, wow, look at these displays. They pull out on piano hinges and fold back in. So if somebody walks up after hours, you look in and it looks like a bunch of birch plywood.
That's awesome.
Huh.
This guy is so smart and just so I must have told this story 10 times today because everybody wants to know, hey, how was it? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
of course, I'll
interesting.
give it a shout out. I get to hang with the legend up there, Jeff Covey. We had some good wingies and some good pizza pie. And I walk into this place and they had 30 beers on tap that they all brew. I was like, okay, this is our place.
Wow.
And just, that's what I like. I get to hang out and get to know people and it's fun. I'm doing it again. It's Labor Day this coming weekend. The following weekend for 3 days, I'm up in uh, Michigan again at a big show at Johnson's Workbench in Charlotte. It's just south of Lansing, East Lansing. So That'll be good. That'll be 2 days, three
Yep.
days set up on Thursday and Friday and Saturday. And I heard it is, they call it the Wood Expo. I heard it's big. So, first time I've been invited. So I can't wait.
It's a wood show or a tool
Yeah.
show?
It's a wood tool show there. Yeah.
Huh.
And then I'm going to do another Johnson's workbench at Notre Dame, South Bend in October 16th and 17th. And then on the 18th, I'll stay for the USC game. It's a night game,
Nice.
8 o'clock. Sideline passes, maybe. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's a lot of fun, but it was really cool to hear that they go, Sedge, you've heard of Gran Torino? I go, yeah. I go, this is the Clint Eastwood. They said he looked at like 30 hardware stores in Michigan, old timey, and he walked into this one. He goes, yep, this is it. Within 30 seconds, he goes, yep, this is where I'm going to shoot. This is our set for the hardware uh, hardware
That's cool.
store. So they have the in the back they have the sign that was what they call the hardware store for the movie.
Now I feel
And
like
they
I need to
said,
watch the movie again so I can see it.
me too, because they have this little sign that it's up above and there's an arrow and it said this is where Clint stood. So they put you under there and take your picture. Just fun group of people.
That's cool.
Yeah. And there was some boy, there was a lot of folks I met. Oh, just it was cool.
Was
I
it
go, you
just
own
you?
any Festool? They go, you kidding me? Come here. And they took me out back, and there was a trailer. And I took a video of this, so I can't wait to show you guys the trailer. This guy, and hopefully I did a good job. This guy had it decked out in Festool. He had a lot of Milwaukee pack out.
Oh, shame.
Guess what he had on there? He had the big Powermatic stand-up hollow chisel mortiser on it.
Oh wow.
And he goes, "Hey, it's my shop on wheels." He's a fireman, and his partner was in. Oh, he was part of the build off. And he goes, "Oh man, it wouldn't have been cool if I could have just parked my trailer there." And I go, "Dude, that would have been cheating."
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. You should have seen
Very.
this kid. Uh, I call him a kid. He's 37, by himself, and he didn't get two pieces made. He built this really cool stand up table, all by hand tools. The only thing he had that was a cordless DeWalt drill, but just pretty cool. He had a lot of his students stop by during the day, say hi, and yeah.
Neat.
Oh,
Nice.
sorry I took up that much time telling you what
Oh,
I
it's
did,
okay.
but
That was
what an
sounds like
experience
a
it was.
cool place.
Yeah.
You
So
got any
Ronnie, what have you been
updates on
up
the
to,
boat,
man?
Ronnie?
I love the video.
Thank you. That was kind of a one needed to answer a lot of those questions. Um, we've been working actually two different things at the same time, which is kind of cool. Cameron FaceTimed me today from his new workshop, and he's got the trailer there. He's already stripped it down, the one that we picked up in Indianapolis. I don't know if you remember, it had these rubber steps on it, little tread pattern all over the fenders. He picked that off, but it came off on pieces size of like pennies and dimes, like that size. He stripped all of that out, did the grinder on it, then bondoed back, took all of the adhesive tape off, down to the bare metal, and then Bondo sand. He stole one of my Festool sanders. I didn't even know it. I went over there yesterday, and he had that one. He was like, "Oh, by the way, I took this because you had a few of those there." He took one of those, but he's been going to town with that. He sprayed it with primer, and then it's black now. He cut off all the jacks and hooked up his welder in the new shop. He used the RV plug and rewired it for the welder. He did all this today. He FaceTimed me and showed me. We agreed we both were going to work like separately. He also filmed it all. So he has all the film of it. So our next video is going to be Cameron doing this part while I'm doing the boat part.
Oh,
And it's kind of cool that we're working simultaneously on it because the trailer is becoming more and more important. Oh, we also put new trailer lights on and we wired the whole trailer today. So he did all that, which is kind of cool. I don't remember how much we paid for that trailer. Was it like 200, something like that, Jason? Like 250, 200
Uh,
something. I found it on Marketplace and didn't realize that I hadn't changed my area. and I pretty much bought it before I realized it was in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
That's how it
And
kind of came to me.
Ryan and I had to go pick it up.
Yeah, I was like, could you go get this trailer I just bought in Indianapolis? Didn't mean to buy it there, but it was somewhere in the 200 around. And I was telling Cameron, I was like, man, I was like, if you could do that, turn one of those around on a weekend, you could make an easy $700-800 just in a day's work of just redoing, trailers. But the reason why we're doing this is because it's starting to become more and more apparent that we're almost at the point where we need to pull it out of the building. Once the woodworking's done, there's no advantage of it being in there. I have other places I could put it for the finishing process. I have other places that would be easier to put the motor on with the tractor, use that to pick it up and put it on there. Just the loader bucket. There's a lot of things that it just doesn't make sense for it to be in the shop anymore. So we actually didn't have that on the schedule. We thought we were kind of wait towards the end, but it's time to pull it out. So I'm kind of feeling the rush. I've been working on the top side still. The top decking, the motor well and stuff is such a time sucker. It takes so much time, but that's the part everybody sees and it's got to be good. So I'm feeling the stress with that. I spent the entire day today on the motor well area. It's a detail that no one's ever going to look at, but it just takes so much time. So I'm trying to finish that up so we can do final fairing and we can get our first seal coat on there. And that will be the next video will be getting the clear on the top and bringing the trailer. That'll be the next one. So it
Nice.
still might be a week or two before we get that out, but we are getting a lot of footage and we're making progress.
Are you going to release this series on Netflix when you're done?
Yeah, if they pay me Howard Stern money, yes, I will. No,
Yeah.
I will be doing a all-in-one video probably in January or February, hopefully. Just one that's just a high level, overview of the whole build. Those seem to do so well. I saw one last night and they pull me in every time. It was a Mercedes like Gullwing, like 50s or 60s model, and it was in another country. It was obvious it was not the US. And the title even said restoring, it was like from a junkyard type, restoring it fully, start to finish, no words. That's what it said on the thumbnail. And that's kind of what I was wanting to see. I don't want to hear, I just want to, and it was like an hour long and I didn't skip through it much. I watched the whole thing, but it's just all the steps. You just see sanding and you see spraying and you see this, you see sandblasting, and it's a nice thing to watch. So I'm going to try that format when I'm done. Just one that, somebody can just easy watching.
Yeah.
That's a,
Compilation video.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a compilation. You know how there's the other method where you can just put them end to end. I don't know if I would do that or not, because it would be. I think I figured out right now we're at 5.5 hours is the videos right now. That's what we've published, 5.5 hours of build, and I just, I mean, they say people would watch that, but it's like how many people are going to sit there and watch 6 hours straight of but I do get
I
regular
mean, maybe
comments.
they wouldn't
People
watch 6 hours straight.
I have a comment at least once every 4 or 5 days where somebody says, I just found this and I watched them from start to finish. And that's why I went back and looked. I was like, what's somebody doing when they sit there and watch it from
Yeah.
start to finish? It's 4.5, 5 hours. And that's not counting if they're seeing ads. I'm not even counting that in there. If you're
I
seeing
bet you if
ads,
you look at your analytics on those long videos, the highest view percentage comes from a television.
oh, it's 62% right
Yeah.
now. And that it was my goal because I'm a very big YouTube TV watcher. And it's the kind of content that I would love to see more of. So yeah, you're right. It's way high on the TV
Or
side.
they might just run that as a constant video that's looping in a massage parlor or something like that. In the
Yeah,
background.
that's it. That's it. I wonder too, sometimes late night, I'll be watching and I'll start something and then I'll actually fall asleep and I wake up and it's on like 3 videos later.
Really?
I wonder if people have fallen asleep during my playlist and end up all the boat videos played.
I mean, Ronnie, how do you think I fall asleep every night?
Yeah, man.
I have a
That
Fulton
happens.
Fine Woodwork and Sedge Tool playlist,
I'm
and just
I'm
I'm
sure
telling
that
you.
I'm
puts me
sure
out
that
like that.
happens. Sure that happens. But yeah, we're making progress. Cameron's working with me 3 days this week. We have to plan our time ahead now. That's the only difference now that he's 50 minutes away. It's interesting, but I think we're probably more efficient than we ever have been because instead of just going and hanging out, we always have an exact plan. We've got two
Right.
big jobs we're working on this week. We're going to do that Tuesday. tomorrow through Thursday. But we have to get those boat days in, or it's not going to happen. And I've been ordering electrical stuff like crazy. It's unbelievable how much stuff had to order, from the fuses to the wire to the switches to the. And I bought the gauges forever ago. Still, things are coming in. The gas tank,
Really?
all those things. I made the largest item Amazon order I've ever ordered on Saturday. It's pretty crazy because it's like they start going, they're like, this is arriving on this day. This is arriving. It's like a whole week of arriving days of just stuff coming in. Can't imagine it without Amazon,
Yeah.
I know.
because we don't even have a boat, store anywhere around. So it's like a supply place. So it's really made it nice. Fun stuff.
Jason, what
Nice.
you been up to?
I'm actually gonna have to bounce, but I
Okay.
will share with you guys. I did decide what my next build is going to be,
Ooh,
and I'm gonna build a poker table.
nice.
And I was gonna just give it to my neighbor afterwards, and I wrote him today and asked him because he hosts poker things, but he has like this massive table that he built during COVID that's just basically like a sheet of plywood, but with like foam and
Yeah.
the nice stuff. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna build this thing, and then I was just gonna give it to you, and if I ever needed to use it, I'd just come get it. But I built one years ago. It was one of my first client builds that I
Yeah.
ever did, and it was one of my favorite projects. And I've always wanted to build another one, but I wanted to build one that didn't have a standalone base because that makes it permanent. Like you have to have it sitting there.
Oh,
But I think most people just want to play poker and have like a nice table to play it on. But when they're not playing poker, they can store it easily. So that's kind of the basis on this one. It's going to kind of be like a fold out
oh, cool.
style. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And I found a company that supplies all the things that I need for it. And I just decided today, I was like, you know what? Before I do this, it'd really be nice to find one that actually had some sort of affiliate program
Ooh,
because I'm going to make plans for the poker table. I'm going to make a video for the poker table, and I'm going to make the SketchUp file available for the poker table. And it would be real easy if I just had a list like these are all the things that I used.
yes.
You can get them from this store. And they wrote me back almost immediately and were like, well, we don't have a quote unquote affiliate program, but we can provide like a discount for anybody that wants to buy it. You can get a portion of the purchase. So it's kind of like an affiliate program, but
Hmm.
just not like a software. So I'm going to jump on the phone with them and talk about that potentially. But um, I want to just have everything in one place so somebody could like buy a bundle, right? Like
Yes.
they'd buy all the lumber they need, but then here's the hardware that you need to build
One
this, and it
source,
costs this much, and it comes from one location,
one stop,
and you can buy it as a bundle and save money and get a discount or whatever the case is.
one
So
stop shop. That's what everybody wants.
yeah, so we'll see. But that's what I'm gonna get working on. I'm going through the SketchUp stuff, and I'm gonna, I think, do a video for my Patreon as I design it in real time because they tend to really like those videos because people are interested in that stuff. So I'm gonna put that over there on my.
Cool.
You're probably going to order the same stainless steel cup holders I just ordered for the boat.
I'm gonna do brass, I think, because I
Well, I
think I'm
mean,
gonna
yeah, it would
build.
be a different finish, but same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna build the table out of walnut. I
Yeah,
haven't done
that's
some walnut
Nice.
in a while. Green felt or red felt with walnut and brass hardware. Oh yeah.
Evan's workshop. Evan, he just built a poker table not long ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
It's like
see it?
a
I didn't.
blackjack dealer casino table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
pretty
sure.
cool.
I didn't see the finished product, but I know
Oh, it
he
was
was
very
building one.
nice. Yeah, it was
Was
real
it?
nice. He did a great
Yeah.
job.
It's always good
Yeah.
to be able to see some examples when you're taking on a project like that.
Yeah. It's gonna be very similar to the one I previously built, but I do want to do some things differently. Like last time I just laminated a bunch of, 3/4 inch thick hardwood to a plywood substrate, not knowing any better. Now I will build it differently to where none of that stuff is an issue and try to keep the cost down on materials as much as possible. That way it's more attainable for people to build. But I thought that would be a fun build. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, be good.
But we're going to have to wrap this one up. But before we do, I do want to thank our gold level sponsors, which is KM Tools, Rubio Monocoat, Forge 3D, Leather by Dragonfly, and last but not least, Celiche are all gold level sponsors for our upcoming uh, meetup that is a month away. Wow.
Wow.
It is
Do we
literally a month
announce
away.
do we announce the silvers too, or
No,
okay.
after the meetup, yes. And they will
Okay.
be on all of our marketing. Well, we'll just do it anyway. But we do have a new one. I think I mentioned them last week, but we do have a new
Mm.
one. Grex USA is one of our silver level sponsors. So huge thank you to Grex. And we got a cool item to give away to some lucky winner. But yes, thank you everybody that's supporting the event. We're really looking forward to it, and everybody that will be attending. We can't wait to see you. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good weekend. Faux show. And on that note,
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.